All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time. It's time for One Piece. It's time for My Hero Academia. It's time for Jujutsu Kaisen. It is manga reaction time. Welcome, Angry Ginger, Kohagen, and Ogata. It's good to see everyone. Let's not delay this any more than I already have. Let's get started, shall we? Yo, peoples, Kyushu92 here, and welcome back to yet another One Piece chapter reaction and review. Last we left out on, Kizuru showed us that this man is not someone to be messed with, moving fast, even showing speeds that we've never seen him move at before, sending Luffy and Jewelry Body flying in opposite directions, hitting Luffy so hard that he destroyed the Vega Force 1, and he pretty much finds himself in the main laboratory where Vegapunk and pretty much everyone else is right now. But before anything can happen, Luffy in his Gear 5 state goes full giant and grabs Kizaru. Let me remind you, this is the second time someone has physically kept Kizaru from moving or going anywhere. First was Rayleigh when he pretty much stopped Kizaru from killing Zoro back in Sabaody. This is the second time when someone's physically stopped Kizaru. Let me be clear. We've seen people slash at him in a way to keep him from doing things, but never physically grasp him or physically touch him to keep him from doing stuff. Since Rayleigh. And now Luffy's the second person to do that. And this was enough to surprise Kizaru. So let's see what happens in chapter 1093. Luffy versus Kizaru! The title of this page is literally Luffy versus Kizaru. We're starting this! The chapter is called Luffy versus Kizaru. What were we doing in the last chapter if that wasn't Luffy versus Kizaru? Are we about to get a full chapter dedicated to these two people fighting, these two monsters fighting? Let's get started. Chapter 1093, Luffy versus Kizaru. Reader requests. Tazier Brothers stealing Kobe and Helmeppo's eyewear by Black Beans. And we got, Tarzier, not Tazier, but Tarzier Brothers. They're like these little type of simians. And Kobe's okay with it. He's all like, "Aw, that's so precious." But Helmeppo's all like, "Hey, give me back my shades," you know. And we have Luffy holding on. It has Luffy holding on to Kizaru and holding him up in the air and going, with Luffy holding Kizaru, and also another thing, Luffy's heartbeat somehow activated the ancient mech that's underneath Egghead. It started to turn on. Luffy going Gear 5 apparently has some effect on this mech. So, a lot of things we need to talk about. But Luffy's holding Kizaru in his hand, and he's just laughing. Luffy! Goes Usopp. And then as Kizaru's being held by Luffy, he goes, "Well, this is no good. Now. Let's not get carried." And Luffy just starts spinning his arm over and over and over again. And then Luffy, with Kizaru, he's spinning the arm that has Kizaru, and he starts spinning it over, and then he just tosses Kizaru into the distance. "Let's not get carried away." And Kizaru is so casual with everything that it still scares me that he's not serious now. It still scares me. But Luffy just straight softball yeets him in the opposite direction, and he just starts laughing because of it. Look at him fly! Hurry, let's run for it now! While Luffy's holding off Kizaru! Then we have Chopper.
"Where are you going, Atlas?"
And then Atlas says,
"I'm going down below to take care of the pacifistas again. Otherwise, we'll be zapped by their lasers as soon as the barrier is down."
And I think it's Edison who says,
"That's the best idea, because for the moment, there's no higher authority here than Vegapunk. Whoever controls the pacifistas win."
And then we have Vegapunk himself.
"Wait, Atlas, I'll go with you." "Huh? What makes you think you're allowed to do that?
And this is Usopp saying it.
The whole thing is happening because people are after your life, man! But, listen, Frankie. It seems like Bonnie is down below now.
She's alive? Glad to hear it. Kizuru kicked her right into the barrier, so I was worried.
How does a grown man like you let her get kicked?
Sorry, my bad. I'll go help her as soon as I can. But the barrier...
And then it cuts back to Sanji. Building A, second floor.
This is Sanji speaking. If Bonnie needs to be rescued, I'm here.
And then Jinbei, who's with Sanji.
We've picked up all your so-called luggage for you, Vegapunk. I'll head towards the rear exit. Let's all meet up there.
Below, in the Fabrio phase. Stay away! Ah! Stay away from the center of town! We believe that the pirate jewelry Bonnie is there! And she's already worked her age-affecting powers on them. And many Navy soldiers have been either turned into old men or turned into children. She's lurking somewhere! Just watch out!
Darn it!
She'll tweak your age!
Now, where'd she scamper off to?
And Bonnie is, shown to be relatively fine. Not overly much, but relatively fine because, she went face first into the barrier, so she's kind of scarred a little bit over her face, like scuff marks all over her face. Find her and take her out!
Darn it.
I've spotted Sentomaru! He's burned to a crisp! And Sentomaru's just laying face first in the ground and his whole body is just covered in burns.
Sentomaru.
And then Bonnie is thinking back to what happened when she fell. When she fell after hitting the barrier.
Ah!
And before she hits the ground, wow, Sentomaru caught her! Yo, Sentomaru's the real one! Bonnie wasn't able to right herself, but Sentomaru caught her before he collapsed.
Sentomaru?
Bonnie, run before the Navy gets here.
Sentomaru! What do I do? Can I manage to stay hidden until it all blows over?
Then we cut to the Labo phase.
What's that? Are you fighting, Zoro?
And Luffy's still laughing, and because you can see him in the Labo phase, you can see Luffy still in his giant state, and he's noticing that Zoro's still fighting Lucci!
You want help?
Just focus on Kizaru, man. And Zoro is just steadily clashing with Lucci. If this is the best you can do, I wouldn't expect to get a shot at fighting our captain.
We'll see. But the number 2 of an Emperor of the Sea is more than worth killing on his own.
And we see Kizaru, who's still flying towards the air. He's still flying towards the air, and he looks like he's about to be. It looks like he's about to hit the ocean, and he goes, seems to be falling towards the ocean. And then, before he hits the ocean, he just makes himself light and he avoids it completely. He just avoids the ocean and he floats above it. Yasakani sacred jewel. And he just starts firing his Yasakani all towards Egghead again. But he's also firing himself. I didn't know he could do that. That's the way he's sending out Yasakani Sacred Jewel, but he's also turning into light so he himself gets shot over there as well. And he just dissipates while the Sacred Jewels are firing over towards Egghead. And they all go, and all the shots goes towards Luffy.
Huh?
Ah! Because ain't no way. What do you mean to tell me? What is that? What is that ability? Hold up! What do you mean Kizaru can make light clones of himself? He could do this the whole time? Excuse me? What you mean he can make light clones of himself? This man shot Yasakani's sacred jewel towards Luffy. And every single one of those individual light bolts turns into a Kizaru clone. This man has his own version of multi-shadow clone jutsu. And it shocks Luffy. It surprises him. Amano Murakumo's sword. And he tries to slash at Luffy. Oh, he doesn't just slash at Luffy. He actually slices Luffy up the eye just a little bit. He manages to hit him across the face a little bit. Yow! Gum Gum! Dawn Whip! And his Dawn Whip goes straight through all the clones. That was a hollow! Because he thinks he's getting reminded of Perona's hollow powers. That was a hollow! Which one's the real one? And what the heck? All these clones are chasing after Luffy in like this real cool spiral-like shape. And they're all brandishing Amano Murakumo swords. Tricked ya! Gum Gum! Dawn Stamp! And Luffy uses Stamp on all of the clones that are lined up right behind him, and he hits all of them. But the real Kizaru is not even in that group. This was a distraction. This was a distraction. Did I get the real one too? And then there's an explosion down in the lab. He tricked me! As it shows Kizaru holding Usopp by the throat. Luffy! That's strange. Wherever could Vegapunk be? Huh? And what is that? Oh, something breaks out through the tubing that goes to the lab. Wait, hang on! Let me in too, Vegapunk! What's gotten into you? You look crazy!
Don't you dare touch a Navy! Hang on, Bunny! I'm coming to save you! I won't leave that poor little child behind to die!
Apple Man! Don't go into the open! He'll kill you! And where do you think you're going, Vegapunk? And Luffy goes right in front. Wow. No! Whoa! Okay, Kizaru goes, and where do you think you're going, Vegapunk? And he fires a laser at Vegapunk, but Luffy jumps in front of it and just eats it! He eats it! And he just screams out loud because the inside of his face just completely lights up and his whole body just gets really, really singed. But his whole mouth lights up, his eyes light up as he goes, ah! It burns! And then we have Frankie going, I'll go too.
Lilith, use General Frankie to carry the ship!
Okay. And then we have the coast of Egghead.
Alert!
Alert! Dr. Vegapunk has descended from the Labo phase! And then we have Edison.
Partially deactivating Frontier Dome. Reactivating soon.
And Atlas and Vegapunk himself, along with Frankie and Sanji, are making their way through the Labo phase down to the Fabrio phase.
Attention! All pacifistas! Vegapunk has new orders! Wipe out all Navy sailors on this island!
And the pacifistas get the order, and the last panel we get is Jay Garcia. And that's the end of the chapter. Excuse me? Wow. Okay. This was an interesting chapter. Hold on. Because I know they got the full summary up, and I want to go over it. Yeah, here we go. Luffy swings Kizaru around and eventually throws him far away from the control tower, giving everyone a window of opportunity to escape. Atlas decides to head for the Fabrio phase to steal back control of the Pacifista Mark III, knowing that there'll be a hindrance to their escape. I'm still mind-boggled over the fact that Kizaru is capable of making clones of himself. Light clones. He's capable of making light clones. Dr. Vegapunk decides to join Atlas, and he contacts Frankie to inform him that Bonnie's still alive but on the Fabrio phase. Sanji offers to join the two to find her while Jinbei gathers Dr. Vegapunk's luggage, telling everyone to meet up at the back exit. On the Fabrio phase, the Marines start looking for Bonnie, who is using her Devil Fruit powers to incapacitate several Marines by changing their age. As she hides, she looks at the unconscious Sentomaru, remembering how he caught her after she hit the Frontier Dome's barrier and fell before passing out again. Meanwhile, Luffy sees Zoro fighting Lucci, with the former reminding his captain to keep focusing on Kizuru. After trading a few blows, Zoro tells Lucci that with his level of power, he won't let him face Lucci. In response, Lucci says he'd be better off killing Zoro since he's practically Luffy's number 2. But, Lucci is not on the level of Zoro, so, I mean, you can fight Sanji, or you can fight Jinbei, but Lucci's not on the same level of Zoro. Because, mind you, Zoro is not on the defensive. Lucci is. As for Kizaru, he manages to avoid falling into the sea and uses Yasakane no Magatama to return to the island at light speed. Once he catches up to Luffy, he turns the individual light particles into copies of himself, all of which use Amano Murakumo to create light swords to attack him, though they'd surprisingly do minor damage to Luffy. It's like Meliodas and his multi-full counter. It's like every clone of Meliodas does less damage than the overall Meliodas, but they're still capable of using full counter on a far grander scale. While these light clones of Kizaru are capable of using all of his moves and attacking, they don't do as much damage. But Kizaru has the advantage of numbers. You mean to tell me that this man has the ability to create an army of himself from just light? You mean to tell me that he's had this ability this whole time, but he just prefers to take care of everything himself? I'm sorry, I can't get over that. I can't get over the fact that this man can create light clones for himself that all can fight. Though they don't do as much damage, they still can fight. He responds to Kizaru's attack by using Gum Gum Dawn Whip to destroy a few before making a run for it. As the copies chase after him, Luffy reveals that he was getting them lined up to take them all out at once with Gum Gum Dawn Stamp. Much to his misfortune, he realizes that Kizaru used those copies to distract Luffy long enough to return to the control tower where he grabs Usopp. Kizaru realizes that Dr. Vegapunk is no longer present, and both he and Luffy see him and Atlas riding a contraption called Vega Tank number 8, with Sanji hanging on the outside. Dr. Vegapunk declares that he's on his way to save Bonnie. Kizaru tries to blast him, but Luffy takes the shot. Frankie joins the three as he tells Lilith to use General Frankie to carry the Thousand Sunny. On the coast, the Marines are informed that Dr. Vegapunk has left the Labo phase. Edison partially disables the Frontier Dome, allowing Dr. Vegapunk to exit safely. And Atlas issues a new command to the Pacifista to annihilate all the Marines on the island. Quick reference: Luffy launches Kizaru towards the ocean, but the latter manages to recover and return to Egghead before hitting the seawater. Kizaru tries to blast Vegapunk with a laser, but Luffy intercepts the attack. Zoro continues his battle against Lucci. Sentomaru saved Bonnie from her fall of the Labo phase, but collapsed afterwards. Dr. Vegapunk and Atlas head to the Fabrio phase in their Vega Tank number 8. Sanji and Frankie accompany them. Frankie has Lilith use the General Frankie to move the Thousand Sunny, and Atlas manages to issue new orders to the Pacifista Mark III. So, to go over everything, Kizaru is showing brand new things. Let me see what you all have said. Let's see, I guess he has the world's strongest defense after all. I'm surprised Sentomaru got back up. Respect to him, I underestimated his defense after all. Yeah, I mean, for him to get back up after being beaten down by Kizaru, That's tough. That is noteworthy. Getting kicked by an admiral who can move at the speed of light, which also augments his already substantial power to a greater degree, and he still managed to be conscious enough to get up and catch Bonnie before he collapsed afterwards. If that doesn't speak on Sentomaru's defense, I don't know what does. Still don't understand why Luffy decided to try and throw Kizuru into the ocean, but didn't try to do this with Kaido, but that's another thing for another day. Simple, Halster. Luffy doesn't think things through. He does things in the moment. That's the reason why, when I was reading through the volumes earlier, Oda explained that out of every single character in this entire series, Luffy is the only one that doesn't have an inner monologue, which means that he does not think his plan, he doesn't come up with plans that he thinks through. He just comes up with things on the spot and he just does it. He's a man of action, not a man of thinking things through. So it doesn't surprise me that he didn't do this to Kaido simply because it wasn't something that would require Luffy to think more than he actually does. Borsalino is a whole different monster. Yes. Still light shadow clone jutsu. Yeah, still light shadow clone jutsu is light clone jutsu. I'm just going to call it light clone jutsu. Still hype. The fact he calls her a small child is interesting. Is she actually really young? Oh no, I still haven't beat the allegations after all. Saturn. Now I've got to reveal myself. Another crazy setup chapter and we're on break again. See, it didn't say anything. It didn't say anything when I was looking at the chapter list. It didn't even say that, hey, this chapter is going on break. It's just blank. So if we're going on break, I'm fine with it. Ravi, good to see you. Also, I gotta tell you, everybody, thank you for still showing support for my recent One Piece episode reaction. For those of you who saw my original video, I've already removed it because frankly, it's messed up. I don't know what happened, but I think it has something to do on YouTube side because my video itself, it plays all the way through. But when I tried to upload it to YouTube twice, it had that whole screen tearing effect that was on my reaction. So I had to get rid of that. But it's up and I feel like it was a YouTube compression thing. They messed up my video when I uploaded it. My original file is fine. But I don't know what happened with that. But thank you for showing love to my recent One Piece episode reaction. Because y'all know I don't do shoddy work on purpose. Y'all know I don't like to give y'all stuff that's uncalled for. That's like subpar or even messed up. If there's an issue, I like to make sure that I fix it. So it's fixed. You guys deserve excellence. That's all you guys deserve when it comes to me giving you things. Y'all deserve the best. So for those that said, was it on purpose? No. I would never upload a video that would look like that. Not on purpose. Not on purpose. Would have liked for Kizaru to need a tool to clone himself, like passing through a prism and coming out Rainbow Kizaru or something. I don't know. I don't know if Kizaru needed like a tool to clone himself. Because that would make it into a gimmick. That would make that particular move into a gimmick if he needed some sort of external tool in order to do that. But for him to do that, period, that already brings Kizaru's power up to a massive degree. Now, we already found out that his light clones, do minor damage. They're not as powerful as the original, but the fact that he can just create, who knows what's the upper limits of clones he can create? However many Yasakani's sacred Jew particles that he fires out, you mean to tell me that every one of those are capable of turning into an individual clone? Sure, the clones may not do major damage, but over 100 or maybe 1,000 clones can still do some stuff. I'm just saying. And all this is going on, and Vegapunk is making his way down just so he can rescue Bonnie. So I honestly cannot wait to see where this chapter goes from here. But man, that surprised me. Kizaru going full shadow clone. And the fact that he was all like, and the fact that he is still so unbelievably calm despite everything that is going on here. everything that is going. That would be some M. Night Shyamalan, firebending nonsense. I don't want to remember that movie. When am I going to read the newest JJK chapter? It'll be after I'm done with My Hero. We have 3 chapters, Rith. We have One Piece, which I'm doing now. We got My Hero, which I'm doing after. And then Jujutsu Kaisen will be last. Don't worry, I'll get to it. Don't tell me anything. Don't say, oh, you're going to like this chapter or anything. I don't want to know anything. Not even your thoughts on what you thought of Jujutsu Kaisen. Let me find out once I read it. But I enjoyed this chapter, but Kizaru making light clones of himself, we truly don't know everything about the Pika Pika no Mi. This is the first time we've seen something new from Kizaru. Well, actually, not really. Because the second new thing that we saw... Nah, I won't. So you didn't get spoiled? No, I didn't get spoiled. Because I've been careful and I've been avoiding going on places that could show something, so I'm fine. I haven't seen anything. But first, we saw Kizaru being able to speed himself up even further, which is what one of y'all called the Cherenkov radiation effect, where light can pass faster at a speed, where things can move faster than the speed of light when used through a medium. Kizaru's shown that he's capable of moving even faster than he ever has throughout this entire series. And also, in today's chapter, we learn that he can create clones out of the light particles that he shoots off. So, that's new. They're not named moves, but there's something new for his devil fruit that have been revealed thus far. And we're far from done. We are far from done. But also, can we talk about something? We always talk about how Kizaru is one of the fastest individuals, if not the fastest individual in One Piece. But how did Luffy get in front of Kizaru fast enough to not only get in front of him, but also intercept the bolt he was going to use to kill Vegapunk? These bolts fly at light speed, or they're fast enough where no one is capable of blocking them or dodging them, except for, select people like Shanks. Cherenkov, the light sonic boom. Yeah, you have Zoro fighting Lucci, who's an awakened Zoan. I don't ever want to hear people saying he's not strong. Who's saying Zoro's not strong? Who's saying that? Have they not seen the King fight? Have they not seen how he's the one who pretty much took the brunt of the Hakai from both Big Mom and Kaido? These supremely powerful individuals with titanic strength. Sure, his bones may have broken, but he's the only one who stepped up and decided, you know what, I got this. And he took the brunt of it. What you mean he's not strong? He literally fought a person whose entire race were seen as gods. Before the world government settled on Marie-Joie on the Red Line, he literally just beat one of these individuals. I think he meant Lucci, not Zoro. Oh, okay. If you're meaning Lucci, then yeah, Lucci's able to keep up with Zoro, but we don't know for how much longer, though. If you meant Zoro, if people saying Zoro ain't strong, you crazy. But Lucci, he's still holding his own. He hasn't just been instantly beaten. Never mind, forget that comment, you can't read. Oh, okay, so Ozzy was meeting Zoro. Yeah, Zoro is strong. Lucci does not stand a chance of doing anything major to Zoro. He literally just fought an individual who was already No, you mean Zoro. Got it. Nope, you're saying Zoro's not strong? Nope, you're saying Zoro's not strong? There will be no Roronoa Zoro slander in this house. Not after Wano. We will not have it. But, yeah, I enjoyed this chapter. Let me not drone on any longer than I already have. I enjoyed this chapter. Kizaru's showing some new things. They're not new named moves, but he's showing some new things. But, now that the pacifistas have turned against the Navy, how much longer is it going to be before Jay Garcia Saturn steps up? How long is it going to be? Because that's the last face we see in the final panel for this chapter. We just see Jay Garcia sitting with his hands on his cane. How long is it going to be before he steps up? Ought to be interesting. But we'll figure that out when we come out of break. We got a One Piece Reflections this upcoming Saturday, so we get to talk about all the chapters that we got of One Piece this entire month of September as we move into October, so that ought to be fun. But overall, I'm enjoying everything that's going on right now in One Piece, and things are really taking ahead. Kizaru's not done yet. He's not done yet. He's been intercepted, he's been thrown away, he's come right back, he's bounced right back, and he's not finished. So far, you have Zoro, King, Sabo, and then Lucci. Yep, that seems about right. Because Lucci wasn't even able to stand up against Sabo when they were fighting each other in Film Gold. But yeah, I enjoyed this chapter. It's time to move on to My Hero Academia because then I got to get to Jujutsu Kaisen, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what happens in Jujutsu Kaisen. But I'm done. I enjoyed this chapter. I hope you all did as well. With my voice acting, my dramatic reading of this entire series, I just want to say thank you for the continued support. The channel is steadily growing by the day, and I just want to say it is an honor and a privilege to do what I do here for all of you. I literally wake up always looking forward to what new stream or video or new thing can I do for all of you. This is a joy to do. Thank you for all the support. Thank you to all my members, all of my moderators, all my subscribers, and even if you're watching this channel for the very first time, thank you for stopping by. It means the world to me. All I can say to everyone is, hope you all enjoyed. Can't wait to see you all in my next video. And if you enjoyed what you saw here, then do these things because not only is it free, but it also helps this channel grow bigger. Like, subscribe, and share this video with everyone you know because the more the merrier. And because I am always looking forward to entertaining you. So have a fantastic day. And once again, as always, later peoples, on to my hero.